And we're live in the spin room here in Westerville, Ohio, just at the conclusion of the 4th Democratic presidential debate. I'm here with political correspondent Linsey Davis and esteemed debate moderator at that as well. And we have just watched the conclusion of an exciting, historic debate, Linsey. 12 candidates on stage. It was a crowded field up there. A lot of energy tonight, and you can see behind us, as you know well, Linsey, the spinsters are getting ready. There's the stage. Those candidates, a lot of them will be coming out into this room. You see the signs behind me for where they will be positioning themselves, Linsey. And a lot of people wondering, if you haven't watched the entirety of this 3-hour debate, who are the winners? Who are the losers? We're going to break it down for you here. We're also going to talk about some of the big moments tonight that will be playing into the overnight hours and into tomorrow. So I'll start with you, Linsey. We were talking before the show, a big night for Elizabeth Warren. She was center stage, first debate as frontrunner. How do you think she did?
I mean, I think that there was a pile-on, really, for her. And if I can use a tennis analogy for a moment, I mean, I think that Mayor Pete Buttigieg had several aces, several really great shots. You know, when he talked about Syria, he talked about the wealth tax, he talked about gun control, and he had some really impactful moments. So I think that he may have emerged, you were thinking kind of as the winner. I think that Elizabeth Warren, though, she didn't really have many unforced errors. And she really kind of solidified her place as the leader. Everybody was trying to attack her. She was coming from, on all sides. And she really kind of rebounded and really maybe lobbed it back. I don't think that she had any smashes, but I don't think she
took a lot of incoming for sure. And Pete Buttigieg, we saw him much, as you alluded to, much more aggressive than we have before, slapping back at Beto O'Rourke on his proposal to buy back, mandatory buyback of all assault weapons. He called Tulsi Gabbard, the congresswoman from Hawaii, dead wrong for her views on Syria. And then, of course, was back at it, badgering Elizabeth Warren for why she won't say whether or not taxes will go up for middle-class Americans under her health care plan. So I'm gonna say my winner tonight was Pete Buttigieg. This was his best performance so far. He's been climbing in the polls in Iowa and New Hampshire. So we'll see where he goes from here. A lot of these candidates have had strong performances, only to see those gains erode. Let's talk about the field tonight, Linsey. Stay with us. We're gonna do a rapid round here and how we saw this entire field of 12 candidates did in a word or two. So let's put up on stage here. See the stage for those of you at home who didn't see the whole debate. Tonight was a big one, Linsey. We just talked about Tulsi Gabbard. How was she tonight?
I felt like Tulsi came and wanted to moderate and not debate. There were many moments that she turned and had questions for, the fellow candidates on the stage where, the real moderators were like, wait, no, we're not. You're not the one answering questions. I mean, I think for one moment, Elizabeth Warren did answer one of her questions, but then they stopped.
But hey, she showed up. She threatened to boycott. She was here. Tom Steyer making his first debate debut. He, of course, is the billionaire businessman, talked a lot about this. And Linsey, it's going viral on Twitter right now. His tie. He wears that plaid tie every single time.
One tie as a billionaire.
But he was very aggressive. In fact, he talked about wanting to tax millionaires and billionaires, even though he is one. So a good look tonight for him, at least for people, for the first time, seeing Tom Steyer. Let's bring in MaryAlice Parks. She's our deputy political director here in the middle of this rapid round. MaryAlice, we're doing word association on the candidates tonight. We just talked about Tulsi Gabbard, Tom Steyer. Cory Booker tonight sailed in with a defense of Joe Biden.
Absolutely a unifier tonight. Every time the mud started slinging, he wanted to lay on the compliments instead. He kept saying that Democrats shouldn't be fighting with each other. They should be talking to each other. I was wondering if he was making a real last-minute pitch for vice president. Maybe that's a little bit too snarky,
maybe that's a strategy.
But maybe it's a strategy to compliment his fellow Democratic colleagues.
Good night for Cory Booker for sure. Let's continue down the stage now, moving towards the center of the stage where our frontrunners in this race were continuing. Kamala Harris tonight, Linsey, you were talking a little bit about her earlier, stepping out to talk about women's reproductive rights, something that hasn't come up at a lot of the debates.
I thought that was a great moment for her, bringing that up for the first time, and ultimately the moderator said, wait, we're going to come back to that, and they did. And so that was like a really great, healthy discussion, but she was the first person to bring it up. And a lot of times I think that she comes in with kind of her rehearsed lines. That was one that worked. She said, dude, got to go, as far as, Donald Trump. I think that kind of fell flat, but I think that the moment where hurt herself a little bit was when she decided she wanted to take Senator Warren to task over whether or not they were going to block President Trump's Twitter account. You know, that was a moment where I think collectively people who were on Twitter kind of rolled their eyes like, really, is this the moment that you're going to use?
You're going to go to battle for it, right?
I agree with you. I think that Elizabeth Warren kind of bested her in that moment. Elizabeth Warren was making a rather large national argument about breaking up some big tech companies, about the power of those social media giants, and Kamala Harris was trying to put a fine point on a very fine point, and I think it looked small.
And we also had Bernie Sanders making his first debate stage appearance since that heart attack last week. Also spent some time off the trail. You wouldn't know it today, guys. I thought he didn't miss a beat. Bernie was Bernie.
I think that Bernie couldn't have done any better. And I think that it was really easy to forget that exactly 2 weeks ago he had a heart attack.
Pretty interesting. Joe Biden, of course, front and center there as well, one of the older candidates on this stage. And there was a flash of anger there at the end, Mary Alice, when he got into a testy exchange with Elizabeth Warren. Really the first time we saw those two take the gloves off, so to speak.
Yeah, Elizabeth Warren threw some shade. She said that she applauded President Obama for the accomplishments of the Obama-Biden administration, trying to hit at one of his go-to lines, which is basically to try to take a lot of credit from the work that the administration did in those 8 years. And she threw it right back. I mean, she has been really careful to not go there, but you felt like when she was tested, she was ready to test those waters.
And how do you rate Elizabeth Warren's performance tonight, Mary Alice? Linsey was saying she thought she, standing right there in between Pete Buttigieg, Joe Biden, both throwing some punches at her. This is really her first time as the front runner on the debate stage. She weathered it.
I think you're exactly right. She did. It was a different kind of debate, more testy than we've seen, and she was the one that was taking the incoming. I mean, it wasn't just Mayor Pete. It was Amy Klobuchar. All of them were piling on at some points, but she seemed ready for that. She does a really remarkable job at kind of deflecting when she needs to deflect and sticking to her message. She has a vision, and she's pretty good at coming back to her vision.
And the tax question, one that she still has had some trouble answering. We talked about Pete Buttigieg already having a pretty strong night, going after some of his rivals, punching up and punching down. What did you think of Andrew Yang today, Linsey?
I felt Andrew Yang was very forgettable. I don't think that he had a moment and certainly didn't break through in the way that he needed to.
But he is in the November debate coming up next month, has qualified. Beto O'Rourke, Mary Alice, big night tonight after a couple of slip-ups on the trail recently talking about faith-based groups and same-sex marriage.
I don't think he would call them slip-ups. He's been trying to differentiate himself. The most memorable moment was when he went back and forth with Mayor Pete Buttigieg, the two of them defending their different positions on gun control legislation. The takeaway, though, for Democrats is that they all want to do more gun control legislation. I think at one point Anderson Cooper said, "We get it. The differences between you guys are pretty tiny compared to the differences with Republicans."
A big night tonight. And let's go down to the last member of the stage on stage right tonight, Amy Klobuchar, Julian Castro. Two candidates who really, Linsey, have to turn things around. We're in kind of mission critical stage for those two now. I thought
Senator Klobuchar actually did reasonably well. I mean, she had some good points. I mean, she punched a little bit. I don't know if that they landed. She tries to tell her jokes. I don't know that those landed either. But overall, I thought she did pretty well.
Yeah, she likes to be the moderate, and she reminds people that that's her lane. Right. She is not uncomfortable or shy about saying that she wants to deliver a reality check to those progressives. She comes back to that. And look, I talk to a lot of Democratic voters that are looking for that moderate voice. It resonates with them.
And the excitement is building here in the spin room at Otterbein University in Westerville, Ohio, just after the conclusion of this debate. It's great to be with MaryAlice Parks, our Deputy Political Director. Political correspondent Linsey Davis is here. And behind us, the crowd is building. The candidates about to come out. We're going to take a short break here on ABC News Live. Stay with us. Meet some of the candidates after this debate right after this.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.